Can we talk a little bit about the wide nine and the most overrated coach on the team? I mean,
you want to go? You want to go
yeah, I
there
want to
now?
go into it. Like
All right, let's
the
get into
Niners,
it.
the Niners, a big reason the Niners don't have Vic Fangio and that the Eagles do is because Kyle Shanahan is convinced that Chris Kasarik is the best defensive line coach in football. And I don't see why. Maybe a few years ago he was Arden Key, that was nice what he did with Arden Key, and Charles Omenihu, that was good too. It seems like he's been able to take failed edge rushers and move them inside. He's doing it this year with Sam Okwanu, who's, had some moments. But essentially, they drafted Javon Kinlaw, who had no technique and terrible pad level because they thought Chris Kasarik could coach him up. They drafted Robert Beal Jr., Drake Jackson, because they thought Chris Kasarik could coach him up. These guys didn't have any production in college. And they give this guy high draft picks, expensive free agents, and the D-line's terrible. No one gets more resources than this guy, and he runs a gimmick defensive front that most coaches don't want to use. So when the Niners are looking for a defensive coordinator, it's someone like Steve Wilks who will begrudgingly agree to try to work with it, or Nick Sorensen, who's promoted from within. You can't get Vic Fangio. So I feel like it would be nice for the Niners to maybe move on from Kasarik and the wide nine and go get the best D coordinator for the job. But they won't. They'll keep him and they'll go get Jeff Ulbrich.
Yeah, I'll tell you as far as now. My most overrated coach on the coaching staff, and I understand exactly where you're coming from with Coach Kasarik, because I don't want to move on from that point. You made great points. It's something that to be honest with you, not only is it something that's important, but it's how we lead our team. Kyle and John have said numerous times that the way that they build this team is from the inside out, and they start with the defensive line. He gets the most money. He gets the best players. He gets given the most swings at bat, the most opportunities to be able to turn this out. And the fact that this defensive line continuously has not been able to generate a pass rush, stop the run, be able to do anything with the requisite players that we've brought in, it's all on Coach Kasarik. And right now, you're right. It's for you to be as good as you are and to be only part of a niche element of the defensive line, what defensive line can bring, you got to be able to be multifaceted. That's part of, to be honest with you, they ask more of the players.
All I'm saying is they need to revamp this defensive line. It's awful. It's supposed to be the strength of the team. They pour resources into it. It's terrible. They have to revamp it and forget doing it in the image of the wide nine. That's over with. Done. Go get Jim Tomsula. Bring him back. He wouldn't want to come back. He's having a great time winning championships in Germany.
He's good to go.
He's good to go.
My guy for the biggest overrated coach on this staff is Leonard Hankerson. I don't know what Leonard Hankerson has done to elevate the passing core of this offense. We're a running team. The least of what we do offensively is pass the ball. We've always clipped at the lowest efficiency rate and the lowest frequency of passing the ball in the league. And it's the smallest footprint of productivity that we have on this team. And yet, this is how we get exposed. One thing that happens right now is that we just don't see the development of some of our best players. Sure, Brandon Ayuk had a year, and I hate to put it that way, but he had a year where he showed exactly what he could do from a receiving standpoint.
But it's in that year also, he wasn't the go-to guy.
He wasn't the go-to guy. Yeah, it was Christian. Exactly. So he was a
great secondary option.
He was a benefactor of Christian
McCaffrey's
productivity. And Deebo Samuel has just regressed. He hasn't gotten better. He's gotten worse year after year. Not for nothing, I will say that when Wes Welker had Deebo, at least Deebo was an effort guy. He was going to play to the echo of the whistle. Right now, I just see Deebo just walks around the team unchecked. He's not really scared of Leonard Hankerson. I've never even seen Leonard Hankerson even really coach Deebo up.
I agree. I think you're right.
Really dig into him as far as making him accountable. He's kind of moves. Deebo probably pretty much has one coach on this team, and it's Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
And you can see he goes pretty much unchecked. If the ball's not coming to him or he's not doing anything, you could tell that Deebo pretty much moves to the beat of his own drum. And that's on Leonard Hankerson. You look at the development of guys like Jacob Cowing or
Ricky Pearsall,
or guys like Ricky Pearsall, and you ask yourself, what type of coaching are these guys getting? How are they being elevated, right? And then even on a running team, you almost look at Leonard Hankerson as almost kind of less important than a tight ends coach, which
Yeah.
I think is kind of another guy that's overrated on this coaching staff, because what has he done? Our tight ends coach. I mean, right now
Yeah.
you have George Kittle, but who is developed? That's a young guy that's been a tight end on this team that we drafted or got from another team. Name one tight end.
Ross Dwelly, baby. But since him, no one.
Yeah, outside of Ross Dwelly,
Yeah.
right, your guy. But
Yeah.
really,
And that was the old tight end coach who they bounced. I forget his name. Why do I forget his name?
Hightower. No, that was
No. He came from Colorado. He was the head coach there. He was assistant head coach here. What was his name? Oh, I forget. But he's a good coach. And they got rid of him to make Anthony Lynn the assistant head coach. What was his name? But yeah, the new tight end coach is just Fleury. Just seems like someone who
Brian Fleury
is like being groomed to be a coordinator, a play caller, not necessarily like a guy who can develop tight ends. He had no. I think he'd never coached tight ends before he became the tight ends coach here.
Yeah, it's definitely a guy where he's kind of like just sitting back doing what he wants. Is it Bakzaga?
No. 2019 49ers coaching staff. What's his name? Assistant head coach.
Embry.
There it is. Embry. Yep.
Embry.
And his son is, I think, with the organization or was.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, those are my guys. The tight ends coach and the receivers coach of the
Embry
49ers.
developed Kittle.